Joining us now, Democratic Congressman of Maryland, Jamie Raskin. It's good to see you, Congressman. You spoke at the No Kings rally in Philadelphia. Does what you saw support the argument that this was a Hate America rally?
No, on the contrary, it was, of course, totally positive, totally patriotic, and totally supportive of us getting the American government back in business again, reopening and supporting the health care of the American people and supporting the federal workforce. And, you know, I kicked off by saying that Speaker Johnson was talking about a Hate America rally, but that one had already taken place on January 6th, 2021, when Trump incited a mob of insurrectionists who violently assaulted our police officers, wounding and injuring more than 140 of them in order to overturn a presidential election. He lost by more than 7 million votes. That's what a Hate America rally looks like. This is what a Love America movement looks like. And that's why they've been trashing it for weeks now, because they know that millions of Americans are standing up against their authoritarianism.
I guess the question, Congressman, and particularly obviously for Democrats, is it a movement? Can you take the energy from these rallies and use it effectively moving forward?
Yeah, well, that's the question, but I think it was answered on Saturday. I mean, this is right now the largest the set of demonstrations that's ever occurred in American history. I don't know that there's ever been 7 million people who have assembled in unity against an administration that has been so determined to violate the civil rights and civil liberties of the people, usurp the powers of Congress, and trampled the Constitution, as well as shut down the U.S. government. So these are definitely movement conditions, and we have tremendous focus and unity within our party to hang tough for Medicaid for the American people, to hang tough for the monthly premium tax credits that are part of the Affordable Care Act. They want to throw millions of people off of health care, and the Democrats are saying, no way, we're not going to allow you to do that. We're going to reopen the government. We're going to reestablish the health care rights of the people. We want to rehire the federal workers who have been illegally sacked, including more than 4,000 at the end of last week from 8 different agencies, including the people who are the disease trackers at the Centers for Disease Control. And we want to see sworn in Adelita Grijalva as quickly as possible so we can get America moving forward again. And then, you know, the millions of people you saw on the streets as protesters on Saturday become organizers in 2026 for us to take back Congress, even against the extreme gerrymandering of the Republican Party and all their voter suppression tricks.
Let me ask you short term, because you brought up health care. And there are, I don't need to tell you, I'm guessing you hear from your constituents, a lot of nervous people out there about what is going to happen with their premiums. Are there any meaningful conversations going on behind the scenes that you think could help break the shutdown impasse?
Well, I don't know whether any took place over the weekend, but I will tell you this. I heard from tons of people out on the road and at the protests saying that their health care is going to be going up hundreds or thousands of dollars a month because of the Republican refusal to negotiate, to reopen the government, and to continue the ACA tax credits. That's why Marjorie Taylor Greene on the right and Bernie Sanders on the left are all agreeing we have got to deal with the ACA tax credits, and we've got to deal with the Medicaid cutoffs that are effectuated by their $1 trillion slashing of Medicaid, while they're giving a $1 trillion tax break to the wealthiest Americans and the billionaires. So I just think there's a vast popular consensus. We've got to deal with it. And I don't know whether there's been any movement behind the scenes on the Republican side. These are people who seem content to throw millions of people off their health care and shut down the government of the United States and threaten the livelihood of federal workers. If anybody shouldn't be paid during this horrific period, it's Mike Johnson and the Republican members of Congress, who not only shut down the government, they've shut down Congress. They've gone back to their districts, but they're not even having town hall meetings because they're afraid to face their constituents.
Well, let's talk about one specific, if I can, Congressman. Starting today, the federal court system is running limited operations because it doesn't have funding to sustain full paid operations. The federal courts have consistently been a check on President Trump's executive power. Are you concerned what a limited federal court could mean?
Well, let's be clear that federal judges, the district court judges, the appeals court judges, the judges in the Roberts Court are all going to be paid. They are Article III officers, so they are paid constitutionally. In terms of other court personnel, clerks and so on, they will be paid for as long as their money doesn't run out. And there are, of course, court filing fees and other fines and so on that go to the courts, so they're able to use those to pay people. But if we look at the last Trump shutdown, the court personnel were very patriotic and firm about saying they were going to keep working and get paid back later under the federal statute that we passed during that Trump shutdown, saying that people who were furloughed or who were working without pay would get paid when it's all over. That's what Donald Trump is idly threatening. Of course, it's nothing to him, but of course, for a lot of federal workers, including a lot of my constituents, that money is important, and we're going to see that that statute is strictly enforced.
Congressman Jamie Raskin, it's good to have you on the program. Thank you.